One single person can make a difference. And that person is you. You can spark change for the ocean. We need passionate people who care about our planet, because it will take all of us to make things better. There is a growing community of explorers and adventurers coming together. A community that cares deeply about healing the planet above and below the surface. Together, we are turning passion into purpose to protect what we love. We're a community of torchbearers, sparking change for the ocean and inspiring others to follow our light. Your light will make us stronger and our future brighter. Spark change for the ocean. Be a torchbearer.
Good Monday evening, everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Safety Stop. And we are fresh back from Roatan, Honduras. And JoJo's on here. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, well, definitely wasn't as nice as Honduras, I'll tell you that. But we'd at least have sunshine.
Yeah. Well, you know, the picture you sent me the other day of the shop up in flames, that was kind of funny. I blamed the last 48 hours on you because that's when everything started going to pieces.
Yeah. And I was like, we got this. And I sent him an AI picture of the shop burning down.
Oh, but like I said, we are fresh back from Roatan, Honduras. What a great week of diving with Turquoise Divers down at Turquoise Bay Resort. The week was awesome. We did not see whale sharks. That was really the only downfall of the whole trip. They were sighted when we first got there, but unfortunately, I guess it wasn't in the stars to see one this time. So, but we still had fantastic dives and lots of fun and laughter. It was a great trip. Had several folks that done the shark dive. Have you done that one before, Joe?
I've thought about doing it, but every time I go, it's kind of like nobody wants to do it. So I was like, okay.
Well, I think we had
like it was a lot of fun.
Well, I think we had 12 that done it on Thursday, and we got the finally got the video. I think Saturday morning, Saturday evening. So all the ones who had paid for the video, that has been sent out to you. So yeah, and I've seen bits and pieces of it. Man, them Caribbean reefs, they are the reef sharks. Man, them thing, it looks like a fun time.
Yeah, I got to play with them in Belize, and they are fun. They're very curious. Swim right with you, swim under you, swim above you. I mean, they're
Oh
really
yeah.
fun.
Well, and the way they do it down there, of course, there's only one place on the island that you can do the shark dive. I was under the impression that they took you out like on a regular dive boat. I did not have any idea that you actually done a back roll off of their little boat. So it's like, oh, they don't have a standard size. So, or, like a regular dive boat. Like, oh,
So
okay.
they take everybody out on little 6 packs.
Well, no, it's not a six pack. I mean, it's bigger than that, but I mean, just from the pictures that I've seen of it, like everybody's like on the sides of the boat and they just back roll in. And I'm thinking, okay, that's awesome. I mean, good way to do boat entry, other than giant striding. But it was very interesting to hear the story. Getting in the water. They said the dive was fantastic, no current. I'm kind of sad that I missed it. I was thinking about doing it, and I'm like, you know what? No, I had some stuff going on that's like, no, I'm not going to push it today. So, so I sat out of the water actually 24 hours just to rule out any kind of, like DCS or anything. So, didn't push tables, didn't push computer or anything. I'm blaming it on traditional scuba because I have not dove in a BC in 3 months. It's been all the Avelo. So, leading up to this dive trip, I hadn't been in, my BC in 3 months.
You have
So,
to eat all the junk food again, so you're feeling like crap, right?
yeah. So I guess that just means next year I'm going to have to take the Avelo with me, and that way I can don't have to worry about it. No, I'm just joking. But it was a good trip. We had 25 divers across two boats. I have to give a congratulations. We had some milestones reached while we were down there. One of our divers, Petra made her 100th dive on the shark dive. And it was not planned that way. That's what she said. She said, "Oh, I did not plan it that way." And so it just so happened her 100th fell on the shark dive. So, huh?
That is a rememberable 100th dive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, your 100th dive, you're surrounded by hungry Caribbean reef sharks who are focused in on a 5-gallon bucket full of chum. Oh, yeah. Looks like Emily has joined us. Hello, Emily.
Yeah, Emily went with you, didn't she?
Yeah, Emily was there. Emily got to make it home on Saturday, or I think it was Saturday. That was, and I'll get into that whole fiasco here in a little bit. But
Let's talk about the good stuff first.
oh yeah. Let's not talk about the trying to get home for 36 hours. It happens. I mean, what can you say?
Part of traveling.
Oh, it is. If you travel enough, it's going to happen to you. So, but like I said, Petra reached her 100th on the shark dive. We had a couple of other divers who actually made their master diver while we were in Roatan, and it was a father-daughter that they had taken classes and worked their way up. And a couple of months ago, they had told me that they was planning on getting his 15-year-old daughter. She was going to have her 50th dive during the trip at Roatan, but they had to do several dives at the quarry to make sure that she could do that. And lo and behold, she done it. Him and her both got their master diver, and so yeah, I mean, milestones reached.
Those are good hard milestones too. That's a lot of work to get your master diver.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we had another on the trip that it was her first time ocean diving, and
What a
so
rush there.
oh yeah, so Brian's daughter Samantha, it was her first time ocean diving. Excuse me, ocean diving. All of her dives have been freshwater in the springs in Florida at the quarry. She's never done saltwater. So, what a better way than to, jump in Roatan for your first ocean dives?
That is awesome. Now she's going to have a high expectation everywhere else she goes.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And then we also had Christy and Gabe, who they have dove saltwater before, but they've never been outside the U.S. They've been like I think she said St. Croix, St. John, St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, where you don't need a passport. So this was actually their first time out of the country. So, great
A lot of those
experience.
spots you named off, I didn't dive because, well, it didn't look very enticing to dive there. So,
Well, so there are. I mean, there's some places that's not as good as others. I think they had dove St. Croix, and I think St. Thomas has a couple of good places to go. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it's you can dive anywhere. You know that.
oh
find,
yeah,
find a
I mean,
hole.
to dive there.
Let's jump in.
The expectation of Roatan versus some of them, though, can be a little disappointing.
It can. Oh yeah. Emily says we did. Thankfully, did not have any travel delays. Planes were a tad early. So, oh yeah, awesome. I'm just thankful that there was just a small number of us that got an extended delay. Oh, but all right.
Staying
Well,
home, that's the important part.
oh yeah, most definitely. Well, let's get into the fun stuff. So, of course, on these trips, I love doing photography and seeing what all kinds of neat little critters I can find while we're diving. And so I did find a few things that was pretty cool. As you can see, the background that's behind us tonight. I was down there and I'm like, I want to take just a kind of like a blank canvas, just a picture of the bottom, and just kind of make it look pretty cool. And I thought, with nothing else being in this picture, just how it fades into the background, I thought that was a pretty cool, interesting photo. And so I used it tonight. It's different than the query, so hey, something different.
Were you down to like the bottom of the eagle, taking those down the sand?
No, actually, I was not. I think this one we done at White Hole.
Right hole.
Yeah, I think this was White Hole. So yeah,
Usually that's one of the ones you normally start the week with because it's a good training ground. And
yes.
they have a nice big clear area for everybody to get their buoyancy right.
Oh yeah, yeah. And this one here, I was hovering like 2 foot off the bottom, and I had my camera just almost on the sand when I took this one. So it was pretty cool. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to start with my favorite, just because the last couple of years we've been there, we have had nurse sharks, on, well, last year on a majority of the dives, not as many this year, but we did have a couple, 3 dives. We had nurse sharks with us. And let's see if I can not cut Joe's audio, but yeah, there we go. Okay. So, I mean, this little fella here was loving to go diving with us. I mean, when we jumped in and it found us, it kind of stayed with us, and you know what it's looking for.
Oh yeah, it's looking for those fresh lionfish fish killed.
freshly. Oh yeah, yeah. It's like, ooh, people, they're gonna feed me. I'm gonna hang around. So very good photo. Of course, all these photos have been shared with all of the divers that were on the trip. That's something that I do every year. You go on a trip, I'll share it to the group. That way, everyone can enjoy the photos. If they're not taking them, at least they'll have photos from the trip.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Oh yeah. Well,
I still got to clear out my Dropbox from Belize because it's completely full of photos I shared with everybody else.
Well, and I tell you, we tried something with as many people as on this trip. We tried to do group texting, and I know there's probably 4 or 5 that was in the group that thought I ignored them when I wasn't. I ended up creating this text group 5 times because the first one, somebody, hey, can add me to it? Here's my number, and it wouldn't let me just, I could add them, but it created a whole brand new thread. And
Yes.
so after going through this 3 different times, I'm like, okay, I've got all this set up. And so I send out a link to the pictures so that, everybody could click on it and bring them up. And apparently I got a wrong number put in. And so I get a text message back saying, I think you have the wrong number. Please remove me from this group. And I'm like, oh no, not again. So I tried it again, and it just finally I gave up. I'm like, we're just going to go back to good old Facebook Messenger. I've got everybody's emails. I'll email them to you. So
yeah, hard to do when you got a large group of yours. I mean, 8 people ain't too bad. Dang, what'd you say? 15?
oh no, we had 25 divers.
25. Okay, 25 divers.
Oh yeah.
And did you have any extra just to hanging out too?
We had 2 non-divers. My son Callan, he went with us and pretty much stayed in the room all week playing video games. But and then we had another non-diver that she went out on the boat a couple times and is actually interested in getting certified. So hopefully next time they go on a trip with us, she will be certified. All right. So, of course, JoJo, you've done Roatan before. We always do the wreck dive. And so this year we ended up doing a wreck called the Odyssey. I don't know if you've done it before, Joe. I mean, I've done it a couple, 3 times.
No, Alagula has been the one I've done. There's one more.
Okay. So, as you know, whenever we do the wrecks, the second dive is usually turtles. And so this next one here, I got this guy, and believe it or not, he was actually small. But it's the only turtle we saw on that entire dive. But he was out and about, just all photogenic and stuff. So,
that's kind of where you bring that up because on my Facebook memories, I had one of the turtles pop up too.
yeah.
I was like, hey, that's a freaking guy.
Well, and if we're getting people who are watching and they're not certified to scuba dive, and especially diving in the ocean, if you've never done an ocean dive, believe it or not, the colors are really vibrant if you get color correction. Once we descend down past 15 foot, we lose our reds. That's the reason a lot of people use the red filters on their cameras to help bring those reds back. And this next photo that I have is I didn't have a filter. I'm shooting, with light and everything. But you kind of gives you an idea how the colors can come back out with a flashlight.
And some of those are actually some of my favorite sponges. And then you got the or the stars on it as well.
Yeah. The brittle star. So that's the reason I took this photo here, because I seen that brittle star right there on that middle sponge.
There's about 3 of them on there.
Yeah. So, and especially ocean diving, just look around. Take your time. It's not a race. This little guy here, could have easily been missed if you wasn't looking.
They blend in so well.
They do. Well, I remember, and it's been probably 5 or 6 years ago, I took a photo of a sponge similar to this. It was bright red, and I actually didn't see it, but it had a very tiny starfish on it. I think we talked about that before.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you'd had to zoom in, but you could see the 5 points, and it was just stuck there to the side of it. It was pretty cool.
I mean, heck, the last time I went down there, me and my dive buddy climbed the top of the boat, jumped off the boat, and when we went in the water, the whole bottom was just full of starfish. Covered the
Oh,
whole seafloor. It was like, whoa, why are we diving here?
yeah. Then I found your. I found you. I think you said it was your son down there while we were diving. You said it looked like him anyway. So, for those of you all who are watching who don't know what type of fish this is a toadfish. They blend in very well, and they'll just sit there. Now, if you wiggle food or an object or something in front of them, you can draw them out a little bit. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a picture of this guy out all the way. He did come out, but he had done ducked back in by the time I could get into position to take the picture. But I mean, I do see the family resemblance there, JoJo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can see how well it would blend in. Look around the coral and all the algae growing and how that really mimics what's on his body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they love to live underneath those rocks.
Well, they camouflage in very well, and if you know where to look, then look because you may or may not see something in the cracks and crevices. I mean, we see lobster all the time, so you just have to look, take your time, just see what you can find.
Take a little light with you too. That really helps get into those little nooks and crannies.
Oh yeah. Well, we recommend if you're diving, it doesn't have to be nighttime, but take a light with you because, number one, you bring colors back out with your light. Number two, you can see in those cracks and crevices. So it'll help you see, lobster or crabs, whatnot. So,
That moray just taking a nap underneath.
oh yeah. Yeah, that is true. Let's see. All right. We'll move on here real quick. We have the puffer just kind of hanging out there under a little ledge. It was a nice sized one too.
Looks like you got some depth on you based on the right side of the lens there too.
Yeah, it was probably about 50 something foot. So
Just so
not.
you can tell where you get out of the frame how the colors just drop off.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, most of our dives were between 60 and 70 foot. We did do a deep class down there. We hit 110, and then of course, we hit our 80-foot mark. But that's really the only time we went deeper. And most of the marine life that you're going to find is going to be above 60 foot. So, and your air consumption is going to be better. No need to go deep.
Yeah. I've found going deep isn't my forte anymore. It's staying closer. I like more bottom time.
More bottom time. You got more time to explore. You'll find more. So, I mean, there's a lot of advantages of not trying to do deep dives. Classifying a deep dive as greater than 60 foot because you're not going to find a whole lot. Now, you may find something. I think it was the first day at Whitehole. We didn't drop down about 60 foot, but the other boat that the rest of the group, they done the same dive site right after we did, and they got down. Somebody got down to like 85 foot, found a turtle underneath a ledge. So we didn't see it because we didn't go down there. But
Oh, I remember we're line fishing up on the I think it was the north side, the island that doesn't exist no more.
Pigeon Key.
Pigeon Key. We're up there line fishing. I dropped probably down to 105 feet, and I look under a ledge, and there's probably 50 line fishes lined up.
Oh
And
yeah,
of course, the guy with the lionfish containers at the top of the reef.
yeah. I tell you, here this next one is probably it's in my top 10 favorites. Like I said, this nurse or these nurse sharks. I don't remember if this is the same one, same dive or not, because all the dives kind of run together. But was just tooling around, in and out. We got one of our divers, Joe Kenny, there in the background. So this thing was just, huh?
With a scooter. I want one of those.
Oh yeah, yeah. He took his scooter. Of course, another one.
The visibility on that shot. It just seems like you see for 80, 90 feet there.
Yeah, no, and that's actually not. That was actually like 40.
Really?
Yeah, that was like 40 foot. So not too deep. Yeah, most of my photos that I've done was about it was above 60 foot. There may have been a couple that was 62, 63, but nothing over 70.
I was talking more of the length wise, not the depth. But
Oh.
it looks like you had some good visibility.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Well, we probably had 100 foot. I'd say it was probably close to 100. So I mean, it wasn't terrible. All right.
Look at the texture on that beauty. That is
All right. Here's another good one that I like because you can see some of the divers in the background as the nurse shark comes through. Yeah. And then of course, my wonderful wife says I never take pictures of her. So I had to throw a picture in there. I don't have a trivia question tonight, but here's a good one for trivia. And take a close look. What kind of fish is this? I know what kind it is, but throw up in the comments and just your idea what you think kind of this fish is.
the name always escapes me. It's like I have to relearn it every time because they're so fun to watch.
Oh, they are. Let's see.
Oh,
Emily said I added a PDF copy of the Caribbean Reef Life book in the Roatan Google Drive. Oh, okay. I'll have to take a look at that. Let's see here.
I had a video of one of our trips where Oz took two of them, put them close together, and they started like fighting each other.
Oh, fighting. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Not so friendly neighbors, I think's what he said.
Oh, no, they not like the neighbors.
And then we were talking just a minute ago. I haven't seen anybody take a guess, but if you think you know what kind of fish this is, throw it up in the comments just so we can see who gets it right.
It's something like a jawfish. No, it's wrong.
Well, I had somebody say that they say, "Oh, look, it's a blenny," and I'm like, "No, that's not a blenny." All right, let's see here. All right, we're gonna move on to JoJo's favorite. Okay, well, maybe not favorite, but we've talked about it. There you go, JoJo.
Yes, there those suckers are.
Oh yeah, we've seen 3 or 4 of them.
Hundreds of those suckers.
Oh yeah, I love finding starfish. You don't see them all the time, but usually when you see one, you're going to see 3 or 4.
Yeah, those guys like to hang up in the sand in the shallows. We're over
Oh yeah.
Creek, so
Yep.
we probably over at Devil's Den or something when you found that guy.
You mean Dolphin's Den?
Dolphin's Den, yeah.
No, we weren't at Dolphin's Den. Visibility at outside Dolphin's Den wasn't the best. Inside the bay was was worse. Outside, we probably had 70, maybe 80 foot outside, and we had 40, maybe 50 inside. So it wasn't very good. And then, of course, my favorite, or at least my favorite seafood dinner. Yeah. This guy was hanging out in a dive site called the Underground. Now I don't know, JoJo, if you've
That
done
is my favorite.
yeah
I think
under.
that was better than Dolphins Den first.
Mm, I like both of them. Both of them are great. They're called swim throughs, but I mean, there's points in both Dolphins Den and Underground that you have to have light. And this guy was just hanging out right there, and yeah, he never moved.
You can get through Dolphins Den without a light. Underground, no, you have to have a light. There is
Yeah,
large sections with no light in it whatsoever.
yeah.
Uh,
Eh,
good thing about that one is it's actually just right outside the resort.
oh yeah, he's just sitting out there, just chilling out. It was dark. I mean, where he was at, you had to have a light. So he just hanging out, waiting for nighttime, so he could go out and hunt. Let's see here. All right, and then of course, I always love seeing them. They're we call them sea kitties. Again, the nurse shark that love to hang around with us. Uh, Very photogenic. Come up right up to you. These things were kind of like the catfish at the quarry. They come up to you and then they swim off. Come up to you, swim off.
Loving the ambiance in that photo. It looks like you're swimming through one of the like little channels.
Oh
Long
yeah.
little, yeah.
Well, this was actually just outside the entrance to underground. So
Okay.
where we were at, the sunlight was coming down, and just yeah, it just caught it perfect.
Yeah, there's another one now. We always go to the shipwreck one, but it's like a labyrinth of those just straight up walls up and down. Like you can easily get lost swimming through all those pillars.
Oh yeah.
I can never remember the name of that dive site. I wish I could.
Which one?
It's down by Anthony's Key by the wreck. Can't remember. Can't remember the name of the dive site though. But I mean, it's a lot like Barry's place where you got that wall cut through. But I mean, it's just left turn, right turn. There's just a bunch of them.
Hmm. Yeah, no. Excuse me. Oh, I'm still adjusting to the climate here.
And as good as Rotan's.
Oh, tell me about it. But yeah, now Mary's Place is a great dive site on the south side of Roatan. I've dove it, probably 6 or 8 times. On the south side, it's probably one of my favorites. But it's we don't get to dive the south side very often, but we do have good news on that. I'll get into that more here in a minute. But so, and then of course, you can't have a group trip without the group photo. I mean, all the wonderful divers that was with us on the trip. We are missing two on this picture here, Christy and Gabe, because they missed their flight in Nashville on Saturday. Because let me just tell you, when we flew out Saturday morning, Nashville airport was a madhouse, and I'm sure it's because it was fall break. But we got to the airport at 4:30 to fly out, and there was already tons of people there. That's typically, it hadn't been that way before. But
Normally, they don't let you start going in until 2 hours before your flight.
oh, did Jojo? I think I lost you. Oh, there you are. Okay.
But yeah, and then they make you sit there until 2 hours before your flight before they let you check your bag.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said,
That's
our flight scheduled to leave out at 6:30, so we got there at 4:30 to check in, and the line of people waiting was like, oh my gosh, they're really going to push it here, and I'm sure there were several Saturday morning that missed their flights, and like I said, the only two that's not pictured in here is Christy and Gabe, who were part of the trip. They missed their flight, so they stayed an extra day in Roatan just to play catch up. So they got to enjoy another day. Better circumstances than our extra day.
Yeah, there's been a lot of problems with air travel here in the last few weeks.
Oh yeah. Well, and anytime you travel, in all the years that I've been doing this, and I've been traveling out of the country, I have to knock on wood. This is the first time I've ever experienced this, and so I don't want to repeat it. Anywhere in the
I've
near
heard
future.
I've heard horror stories. Normally I have like 60 minutes in between flights, and it's like scary that I'm gonna miss my flight. Because if you ever went through Atlanta, it takes you an hour and a half to get from terminal to terminal. It seems like so.
Oh yeah. Well,
uh,
and Miami is the same way. I mean, if you fly out of the country, especially I think it's American that flies in and out of Miami. But if you fly back into the country, you're almost guaranteed you're walking all the way across the airport to customs just to turn around and come all the way back to catch your connecting flight. That's been my experience at Miami. The reason I don't like to fly through Miami,
I
but
think the time we went through, and I think the same time you did, but it literally took us. We had 3 hours in between flights, and we were getting to the gate when they were ready to close the doors.
oh
I
yeah,
mean, it took us that long to get through it.
yes, yeah, it's oh yeah, that's one of the fun things about dive travel. If you're traveling and you don't have any hiccups, it makes it an awesome experience. If you have a couple of little delays, here, there, okay, it's not that big of a deal. But then we come to the dreaded cancellation. Uh,
Oh.
yeah. So now, one of the divers that was on the trip with us this year, he was with us last year on the south side when we spent a week there, week 2, and he flew in last year American. And when we got ready to fly out, he went to the airport with us to find out they had canceled his flight.
Oh wow.
So he had last year he got to spend an extra night on the island. And of course he flew with us this year, and what happened? So we just blamed it on him. Like, this is the
If he wasn't
second
here, this
time.
wouldn't have happened.
Huh?
I said, if he wasn't here, this wouldn't have happened.
Uh
Uh,
yeah.
I don't feel bad. That's the way my luck would roll. It's like no matter what I do, and that's the luck that falls on me.
Emily asked, "Did someone take pics of the dive site list?" Yes, Emily, I have a picture for every log or every dive site and your information. Um, there was we sent an email out Saturday, was it Friday? Friday night. I sent an email out Friday night that said, had a picture of the photo link, and it also had, if you want pictures of or if you want the dive site list, let me know. I will send those to you, Emily.
That's an extensive list too. That's a lot
Uh,
of that.
yeah, I had to take pictures for 2 boats, so I just and and I've got it set up so the way, if somebody needs it, I know what boat they were on. I can just doop, here you go, doop, here you go. But yeah, I mean, we get to the airport. Our flight was supposed to leave on Saturday at like 12:30. So, the shuttle runs like every 2 hours. So you got an 8 o'clock shuttle, a 10 o'clock shuttle, a noon shuttle, and like a 2 o'clock shuttle. And so we got to thinking, well, as busy as it was coming in, we may need to get to the airport a little early. 10 o'clock's probably going to be pushing it for us to get there, get through check in, get through customs security. So we decided to get on the 8 o'clock shuttle just to give us a little extra time. So we get to the airport at 8:30, we get checked in, get through security, and that was probably the quickest that I've ever gotten through security and customs in Roatan. But there was nobody there. So it was real easy. Got in, sat down, spent a couple extra hours there. Okay. Now comes time to board the flight to come home. So everybody starts boarding. Everybody gets on the plane. They shut the door. They start backing us away from the gate. And then the captain comes over and says they can't get one engine started. So we're like, okay, said we're gonna try to get a couple of things, try to get it started. If not, they're gonna pull us back into the gate. We sat there for probably another 10 minutes. He come back, said, no, can't get it started. So they're gonna pull us back into the gate and take a look. Okay, well, whatever the problem was, also was an airflow problem, which also helped keep the interior of the plane cool. So we pulled back to the gate and we're sitting there. We sat there for an hour and a half on the plane. People like sitting there fanning. I mean, it's just, you're basically in a tin can on the middle of a tropical island with the sun beating down on it. So, it was nice and toasty, 200 people on board. So after an hour and a half, the captain comes over and says they're still not able to get the problem fixed, that they're going to deboard the plane so everybody can be more comfortable, and they would give further updates. Of course, we did, and the next update we got was right at 6 o'clock Saturday evening, saying that they were unable to fix the problem and had to cancel the flight, and we had to go back through customs like we were just getting there, get our bags, and then go to the gate. So
at least if you would have made it to Houston, you could have at least got through customs.
oh yeah, so Saturday was the first time in 14 trips to the island that I got to experience departures and arrivals in the same day. So here we go, and go through all that. Well, we get up to the ticket counter because now we're trying to figure out where they're going to send us, where they're going to put us up. Well, we get to the ticket counter and, they give us the information, but they can't print vouchers. So we get sticky Post-it notes on our passport that says the name of the hotel we're going to, how many's in our party. Okay, great. We hit the shuttle. We go to the resort. Well, we get there, and it's right on the beach. I mean, if it was daytime, I would have been able to sit there on the beach, enjoy some more ocean time, but no, it was dark, and we get there. They had no knowledge of us, of United sending anybody to them. So now we're in that whole rigmarole. And finally get all squared away, and we get to eat, we get to go to bed. They had told us the shuttle would be at the resort at 6:30 yesterday morning, and it would leave at 7. Okay. They wanted us back at the airport at 7:30. Okay, great. So all of our bags, everybody's sitting down there at the entrance at 6:20. And they pull in with this little van that seats like 6 people and luggage.
For 200 people getting back on a plane?
Well, no, the plane, they split up 3 different locations. So, there wasn't 200 people at this one resort. They split everybody up, some here, some here, some here. So finally, a big shuttle, a bus, actually shows up at 7:30 to take us to the airport. So we all load on. Luckily, we got to make it back, and long story short, it was a very long travel day yesterday, and there was 4 or 5 on the trip that had to connect in Houston with an earlier Nashville flight. And so they left out like 2 hours before we did. So we're in the air. They've landed. They've made it back over to the hotel where the vehicles were parked, just to find out that our vehicles had been broken into. Oh yeah, it was great. We're 30,000 feet in the air, and I get a text message and a picture of my wife's 2025 Explorer driver's side window busted out. And it's like, oh no. could this return trip home get any worse? Yeah. Fun times.
Yeah. Now you got to drive home with that rust.
So we get back. Yeah, we get back, we get our luggage, our dive gear, get everything. We hit the shuttle. We make it back to, no, we landed at 10:30 last night in Nashville. That's landing. That's not getting our bags. That's landing. And we finally left the airport. It was about 11:30. And so we get over to the hotel. Now we have to talk to the police officer who's there taking a report on 40 different vehicles that were broke into. And
fun day for him.
oh yeah. So I got home this morning. It was right about 3 a.m. So yeah, it was a very long travel day. Like I said, that's not a typical travel day in when you go out of the country to dive. The trip was great. The diving was phenomenal, but even getting down there was okay. It was just getting home that was like crazy. Frank just chimed in. At least everyone got their luggage. They usually mess that up also. Yeah. They, as far as I know, nobody lost any luggage. And everybody made it home safe. I think only the ones that had parked at that particular hotel that were, and not everybody, but I know mine and Brian's, both of our vehicles, they broke into. They didn't get anything out of ours. They did get stuff out of Brian's, but we was able to make it home, and now we're just trying to play catch up.
Hopefully in a couple weeks, Wally can give us a report on Fiji.
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
yeah. So, and hopefully, I don't know if I can get him to come on, but I've never done Fiji. But hopefully we can get him to come on and, tell us a little bit of information about Fiji. And I mean, that's a good haul. It's almost 2 days just to get there.
2 days there, 2 days back.
So you're already, almost a week travel time there, 4 days, so, but there's a lot of good destinations to go to, not just Fiji.
I'm going to pick his brain about that because, that's on my to-do list.
Well, like I said, there's a ton of different places to go. A lot of them you have to have, multiple hour plane rides. The Red Sea at the Thistledorn. That's a great wreck in the Red Sea to dive. There's a lot of great places in the Philippines, Thailand, of course, Australia, Japan, Fiji, lots of great places to travel, but you have to be able to, be able to spend a couple days of just travel time.
Yeah.
The Caribbean, it's real quick and easy. Huh?
Yeah. 4 hours, you're there.
Oh yeah. Most any place in the Caribbean, 4 or 5 hours tops, and you're there. I mean, flight time.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that because that's one thing I've been trying to figure out. Is the diving's usually the easy part. It's the logistics that's always a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, if you're traveling on your own, I mean, the logistics can get overwhelming unless you're used to traveling. If you're used to traveling, not dive related, but traveling in general, then you've got a pretty good idea, as far as the logistics and stuff. But for the average diver who doesn't plan stuff like that on their own, they go with organized group trips. The logistic stuff is already laid out for you. You just go and do. And as a group leader, as you know, JoJo, there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes on that to get the logistics right and make sure everything's in place.
Phone calls, emails, checks, double check. Make sure you're getting the right information out to the right people and spreading it
Oh yeah.
out to other people. Yeah, there's a lot that goes in behind to make sure everything works, everybody has a good time, and pretty much when I do dive trips, I try to make it to where nobody else has got to think about anything. They just get to enjoy it.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's one thing I like about Turquoise Bay. Darren and his guys down there, dive masters and all, as well as I do, it's concierge diving. You just show up on the boat, have your mask, your fins, your BC, your regulator, all that's already on the boat, ready to go. Um, it's that's easy diving right there.
Well, I mean, we got Bon Air coming up, and we got place rented. Well, now there's car rentals involved,
Hmm.
transportation to the airport and back. So we got to figure out, vehicle car rentals and insurance and all that's got to now be put into play. We want that to the point where you just show up and go diving. You don't have to worry about any of
Oh yeah. Yeah, Lisa says Travis told me it's going to be a 14 hours on a plane to get to Fiji. And that's probably from LAX.
that.
You know,
LAX, my understanding, is a
now
good play.
now
Some,
you add the other 5 hours from here to LAX, you're at 19 hours right there depending on your layover. It's you might as well plan 2 days.
and my understanding is you lose a day because you're going over the international date line.
You are.
So
Yeah.
throw that into the whole bundle of work. You're going to leave out on the 15th, but you're actually not going to show up on the 7th.
Oh yeah, and coming back, you're leaving on the 15th. You get back on the 14th.
Yeah.
They start hearing the Back to the Future theme playing. Dun dun dun. But like I said, with dive travel, it's fun to get away. It's fun to do. But occasionally you do run into hiccups, cancellations, missed flights, missed connections. That brings us to the next topic here, real quick, that I want to touch on before we close tonight's episode: travel insurance. So a lot of people don't think about it. I've had travel insurance for several trips. I always purchased travel insurance and I've never had to use it. But it's looking like because of all this, I'm going to have to use it this time. And luckily,
Yeah.
I have the policy. And a lot of people say, when you think uh, insurance policy, it's not for a whole year. You actually get it for specific trips. And it covers you for that trip. It's a little bit cheaper depending on your options that you pick. We use DiveAssure, and we've never had any issues with them. I've had a couple of people who've had to make claims because they were sick. It was the Belize trip in February. They missed some dives because they were sick, and they ended up, getting money back on, from missing stuff like that. And I had the pleasure today to talk with DiveAssure, but like I said, all this stuff happened at the very end of the trip, so I wasn't sure if any of it would be covered. And I was told, yes, most definitely. It's still on your coverage period. You were trying to get home, your flight was canceled. That is legitimate. So I can file a claim. So before you travel, I highly, highly, highly recommend trip insurance, whether it's through Dan, whether it's through DiveAssure. Get something that's going to cover your whole trip from A to Z. not just the insurance the air flights or airplanes offer, because that only covers the flight. If your flight gets canceled, if you miss, dive insurance will cover A to Z. So if you're getting ready to take a trip or you're planning a trip, make sure you plan travel insurance in on that and just get that peace of mind.
If your car breaks down and you miss your trip on the way to the airport, you know, insurance is going to cover you.
Oh yeah.
So,
If you get your insurance, when you book your trip, then something happens. I've had people to do it. That something will come up. There was a guy, he had a trip planned to Egypt, and it had been planned for like 8 months. And about 3 weeks before they were supposed to leave, he had to have eye surgery. Ended up not being able to go. He had trip insurance. They covered the cost. So if you don't need it, that's great. But if you ever do need it, at least it'll be there. And that's kind of my views on it. And I don't ever leave the country without trip insurance. Emily says, think my wrench is covered. Well, Emily, let me tell you a little story here, real quick. They got your wrench on day one when you guys flew out on Saturday. When we rechecked on Sunday, they took my bug spray. The same bug spray made it through on Saturday, no problems, but apparently Sunday it was a problem. So, you lost a wrench on Saturday. I lost two little things of bug spray on Sunday. Hey, it's inconsistencies. I mean, it's exactly what it is.
I
It's
think I took sunscreen once, and it was because it was an aerosol. You couldn't take it. It's like it's a pressurized cabin. What are you worried about?
oh yeah, yeah. It's I blamed it on wherever the nice little security lady there in Roatan lived. They probably had a mosquito problem. She just needed some mosquito spray. So yeah, she told me the container was fine. It was something about the spray, and I'm like, it made it through yesterday. What's the problem
There's
today?
no seeing for just eating her alive this time of year.
I guess I don't know. I guess she needed it more than me. Okay, here, take it, enjoy. But yeah, they took Emily's ranch. That's one thing about it. It's I do have.
Dive pools with me. It's like that has wrenches in it. It's got picks. It's got a bunch of crap on it. How's
Well,
that make it through?
well, we were going through TSA yesterday in Houston when we landed, and of course, in my carry on, you can't check lithium batteries. So I had the lithium batteries for the scooters in my carry on. And of course, every time they go through, they catch it. They have to look through it. And this lady at Houston, she wasn't rude, but she was very brute and to the point, because she didn't know what kind of batteries they were and all this. And it was really funny because I've never seen this happen, but her name tag was upside down. And Krista spotted this and said, "Ma'am, your name tag's upside down." And she looked down and her demeanor changed and she started laughing. She's like, "I've been here all day and nobody has told me that my name tag was upside down." She's like, "Thank you." And of course, that just changed the whole tune of the whole conversation. And she just, put my batteries back in, closed it up, and told us to have a great day. So it was really funny because, like I said, she wasn't rude, but she was very brute and to the point on these batteries. And then when something was pointed out on her uniform that wasn't correct, it was just like a whole 180. She was as nice as she could be. So yeah, it was a fun time.
All right.
Let's see. The knitting needle, foot plus got through. Oh yeah, it's when you're traveling. I think it's just whatever kind of mood they're in that day. If they need it or they want it, they just oh, you can't take this. I don't know.
I was flying with the kids once, and we had juice pouches with us. factory sealed and everything, and got in there and they had to test every single one of them. Well, you got to open them at this point, so it's like open them, they test them. I started handing out juice boxes to everybody who wants one because now they're useless.
Exactly. Exactly.
uh,
But, again, it's part of traveling. That's the reason it's always a good idea to pack smart, know what you can and cannot take in carry-ons. If they say it's allowed and you have questions, go ahead and check it. Make it easy on yourself. That way, I learned a long time ago. I no longer go to the airport with a belt. I no longer go with anything that's like jeans that has metal in it or whatnot. I'm always in comfortable clothes. Make sure there's no metal. That way, when I go through, it doesn't beep. Don't have to worry about it. And, only time I
know
have to
I'll
worry.
freeze,
Huh?
but I'll go in. I know I'll freeze, but I'm going to go in shorts,
Oh, yeah.
flip flop.
Yeah.
As
That way it's
little as
visible.
possible.
Yeah. That way it's
And I
visible.
still get flagged. I have still gotten searched, even though there's absolutely no way you can see whatever showed up on my ankle when I got nothing on. Uh,
Oh. All right, JoJo. Well, it is 8:59. Any final thoughts for us for tonight?
well, I'm glad y'all had a good time for 99% of your whole trip until the time back. But hey, we live and we learn, and that's just part of the game. We love to travel, we love to dive. So, a little mishap here or there. Other than that, keep in tune, man, because I think we got a lot coming down the ballpark for the next dive
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit more interaction, and yeah, you got some fun things coming down for 2026. But we've got all winter to get into that, so I guess you're just gonna have to stay tuned and keep watching to find out what's going on. And real quick, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do that. It'll notify you whenever we come on live on Monday nights. That way you don't forget. You can watch. Great. Whatever, but hit that subscribe button. It helps grow the channel. And if you enjoy diving and seeing mine and Joe shenanigans, I mean, we always have shenanigans, burning the shop down. Gee, thanks, Joe.
season. You're welcome. Had to keep. It was getting cold at night. We had to stay warm.
Yeah. Well, you just didn't know what kind of day it was. That's what it was. That's what makes it funny. You didn't know what kind of day it
No,
was.
that's it. Is I did know what day it was.
No,
Y'all
you
had
didn't know what
issues.
kind of day we were
That's
having
why
at that point.
it was like, we're stuck in Roatan. Our plan is like, ooh, he's having a bad day.
Well, no, it's like I said, I could think of a whole lot worse places to be stuck, than a tropical island, but, it is what it is. I got to stay a free night. What can I say?
I guess so.
All right, guys. Well, it's that 9 o'clock hour. And as always, thank you for tuning in with us here on our YouTube channel. We've been doing this since 2020. So, we're marking our fifth year of doing this, getting ready to go into our sixth and start our sixth, I should say. Always a pleasure to be able to come in here on Monday nights and sit and talk all things scuba. And here are, I did forget one thing real quick. Before I close out. Fourth Element. I'm just going to say this. I got a pair of Fourth Element rock hopper boots to take with me on our trip. And if you haven't checked them out, check them out. They come with inserts, sole inserts. And these things were comfortable all week long in the water, out of the water, walking on rocks and stuff. No problems. I highly recommend them. They are very,
You got your
very
Dr.
good.
Scholl's for diving.
Dr. Scholl's for diving. Fourth Element rock hopper boots. They're low top, great for traveling, lightweight. They have an insert. They're great. But anyway, there's my pitch for the episode. I meant to throw that in earlier, and of course, got on the tangent. But Thank you again for watching us here. We'll be back next Monday night right here on our YouTube channel. Again, don't forget to subscribe and like. And we can't wait to see you guys diving the Halloween Fest coming up October the 25th and 26th.
Be there. We fun.
Be there. It's going to be a haunting good time. Ohana and Water Dogs are doing Zombie Apocalypse Diver course on the 25th. If you're interested in that, contact one of them shops to get registered. Of course, Cowboy's going to be doing Cowboy's Chili and dinner. And then, of course, the Haunted Night Dive. And then on Sunday, the Underwater Pumpkin Underwater Pumpkin Carving, also sponsored by Ohana and Water Dogs. To get registered, contact one of them. And, yeah, carve a pumpkin underwater. Sounds easy? Wait until you try it. All right, guys.
It's going to be a mega of a time.
Yeah, if you've never tried to carve a pumpkin underwater, there's a couple of tricks that can be, that you can learn from, but, you'll figure it out if you've never done it underwater. Underwater pumpkin carving, you got to try it underwater. It's a blast. Until next Monday night, guys, if you're diving this weekend, we hope you have a fun, safe, and adventurous diving weekend. We can't wait to see you. But if you're not diving with us, enjoy it. Have fun. Wally's going to Fiji, so we're going to wave him off Wednesday. So, yeah, next Monday night, right here on our YouTube channel, Monday Night Safety Stop.
We are the kings of everything.